Welcome back to another episode of Down 216, hosted by your boy Will Merriman. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling today as we get into another interesting video topic? So I wanted to get this video out quick. I'm a little bit behind. I just got in the house really. The Browns have went out and signed Isaiah Bond to a rookie contract. Now, Isaiah Bond had a sexual assault case pop up 2 weeks before the draft. Hence is why he went undrafted. Then randomly the charges dropped, and as soon as the charges dropped, he got signed. So it seems like the Browns kept tabs on him. They actually did record and have a meeting with Isaiah Bond. Before the draft happened, and, during the pre-draft process, he had a third-round grade on him. So we essentially just got another third-round pick, at a wide receiver position, which we really needed. It's another guy that goes in there with opportunity. And I think he's going to go in there and try to work his way up the depth chart. We're just losing Luke Forrio. I think Isaiah Bond, he runs a 4.3. They love to get those fast guys out there. It's going to be like a guy that's replacing Anthony Schwartz. He looks like he actually has hands. I do see him catching the ball a lot with his chest, so we're going to see. But he does look pretty tough from what I can see. He does run a 4.3, so extremely fast guy, the type to take the top off the defense. And he can get loose in the backyard. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I know I said the backyard, but, in the back of the field, when you got Jerry Jeudy and David Njoku and all this, they're holding up and trying to protect them. You got Isaiah Bond shooting down the back or on the side, or you could have him, Tillman, Jeudy, and Njoku out there. That's a very dangerous potential lineup when you got another speed threat out there to take the top off the defense, and Jerry Jeudy and, David Njoku to work the middle of the field. So I think it's going to be very interesting. Now, looking at his career, he had a pretty okay season with the Texas. It was pretty decent, not something too flashy, no numbers popped off. I will say he did play for Alabama. So, just good track record with the guy. Play for Alabama, play for Texas. Those are two big, pretty much programs. And he went out there and played wide receiver. He may have a lot of potential. He do run a 4.3. If he's able to be able to catch the ball consistently and get open consistently, he can turn into a starter for this team because he's going to have the speed on him already naturally. His NFL comp was Jalen Waddle. So I think it's a lot of potential with it, but it's just going to depend on, how good is the player. We're going to see once he gets in. The Browns haven't had a lot of luck with wide receivers, so, I'm kind of down on it. But the fact that they didn't, he still was like a part of a pre-draft process. But, it wasn't really a lot of talked about wide receivers in this draft. You got Malfoy Golden, you got T-Mac. So, you got a couple of different guys, Luther Burden. But he was right up in there with those guys as well. So, I feel like he was the number 10th ranked wide receiver in the draft. You can't expect him to be amazing, but with the way that wide receiver is getting played nowadays, you got guys like St. Brown and guys popping off in the second and third round. I don't think it's highly, and that's on just somebody's board. That's not actually how he was ranked. You never know where he would have got drafted had he failed in the draft, where the Browns would have maybe took him maybe in the third or the second round. You don't know. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see. If that never happened and he gets took in the second round, we might have a very high grade on him better than how we're looking at them now. So it's going to be very interesting. How do you guys feel about it? I think it's definitely a good pickup. Now, what I will say on the moral side, I hope he didn't actually do anything because, we just can't keep getting guys that got bad track records with women. I bring it up a lot of times, and I know a lot of people going to say innocent to proven guilty, but it's still why does majority Browns players recently that is younger have issues with women more than anything? What is going on with that? What are y'all seeing in the pre-draft process? But who knows? It could not be true. None of that could be true. Shit, it could be all just hypothetical. You never know. People do be lying. But at the end of the day, it still wasn't something that you was accused of. Me and you at home probably was never accused of nothing like that. So why are they getting accused of it? You feel what I'm saying? So it just be you know, sometimes it be hard to defend, but a lot of times people do be lying. You know, you never know how it is when you are at that statue and, you know, got that level of, you know, meaning around people where people can try to do things to bring you down. So who knows? You never know what's going to play out. So you can't never, like, jump to a Pacific side, I have to say. But nonetheless, I think the guy's going to definitely have some opportunity. He's coming onto a team that really don't got no other competition. He could easily come in here and be better than Jamari Thrash. Not saying Jamari Thrash isn't good, but he really hasn't proven anything. So I would say they both kind of on the same playing field. It would be Judy, Tillman, and then whoever. This video is sponsored by Detrimental Figures, my brand here. As y'all see, some of the quality of my recent work. You get a signature tag on it as well. You know, we make and really emphasize quality over quantity. So, you know, we try to take and make sure we use the best materials to come up with our shirts and the best designs. Make sure y'all following us on Instagram, Detrimental Figures, so y'all can also get the description down below and hit the link for a shirt. Everything I drop is limited edition, so unfortunately this shirt is sold out. I don't have any more, but I have different things coming up similar to it. So keep in mind, and I'll keep you guys updated with some of my new stuff throughout these videos coming up. Pops out, and I think he definitely got the opportunity to pop out because, one, you got to think, Cedric Tillman and Jerry Jeudy both usually have some type of injury issue. So it could be a scenario where he's heavily relied on in one of these games. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I think it was a good pickup. I give Andrew Berry credit. It could potentially make up for the bullshit with Dylan Gabriel. So, you know, if Isaiah Bond turns out to be a starter or, you know, even a second contract player, I think definitely it was a good pickup. But if, you know, if he just fizzles out or plays like David Bell and just fizzled out, then I can't really see it, man. I can't really see it. So, where is David Bell? He's still on our team? Good question, but yeah. So Brown signed Isaiah Bond. Like I said, man, he was okay in college. Really, you know, not too decent numbers. I'll put his college stats up here down the line. But y'all comment down below how y'all feel. It's your boy Will. I'm out.